biological life enters the universe in a state of absolute ignorance. You open your eyes in a world governed by physics, chemistry, geometry, weather systems, predators, diseases, social hierarchies, and billions of years of accumulated complexity. Yet your mind begins with none of that knowledge. You are expected to navigate gravity without understanding force, avoid toxins without knowing chemistry, deal with predators without knowing ethology, manage hunger without understanding nutrition, and survive danger before you even know what danger is. The universe does not adapt itself to the limits of the organism. The organism must guess its way through a reality it was never designed to comprehend. Human cognition is not aligned with the structure of reality. The brain evolved to solve immediate, local problems on the scale of a savanna. It was built to judge distances, remember faces, sense threats, and handle primitive survival tasks. It was not built to understand quantum mechanics, general relativity, thermodynamics, computational complexity, or the invisible infrastructures that now shape existence. There is no innate grasp of mathematics despite mathematics being the underlying architecture of the universe. There is no built-in understanding of how time works, how matter behaves, or how causality unfolds. Everything must be painstakingly learned through education, error, suffering, and often irreversible consequences. Humans are fundamentally flawed beings due to their limited ability to store and recall information in fine detail. Memory is unreliable, it decays, distorts, and reconstructs itself with every recollection. As a result, humans have no absolute way to prove what someone has previously said, done, seen, or heard. There is no mechanism in human communication that ensures information remains 100% factual, consistent, and verifiable as it moves between minds. Each transfer depends on language, interpretation, and trust, all of which are imperfect and manipulable. Because of this, humans are vulnerable to deception, both from others and from their own minds. Lies, misunderstandings, and false memories can all take root and spread, shaping beliefs and actions detached from reality. Human systems, social, healthcare, legal, political, or organizational, depend on continuous information relaying between individuals who each hold partial and subjective versions of truth. Every relay risks distortion, omission, or fabrication, forcing civilization itself to operate on uncertain ground, an intricate web of trust, perception, and error rather than objective fact. Humans being are fundamentally flawed due to having limited ability to remember everything in fine detail, with no way to prove what someone has previously said or done, or what themselves have seen or heard, because we have no mechanism to communicate information while remaining 100% provable factual. Because of this, humans are vulnerable to deception, distortion, omission, or fabrication, misunderstanding from others humans. Humans have to go between different people in different parts of the system, requiring to continuously to relay the situation to each member in different parts of the system. The necessity of continuously relaying situations and transferring information between multiple individuals, often across different parts of a system, creates numerous points of failure. If existence were designed for living rather than struggling, the organism would begin with perfect internal models of its environment. It would be born knowing its physical limits, the dangers around it, the resources available, and the rules governing the world. There would be no guesswork, no trial and error learning that can cost limbs or lives. A functional species would not need to burn its hand to discover heat is dangerous, choke on food to discover the wrong way to swallow, fall from heights to learn about gravity, or suffer social trauma to learn about psychological boundaries. Every harmful lesson that humans learn through pain would be unnecessary, because a competent form of existence would not hide essential information behind suffering. The biological brain is also too slow for the universe it inhabits. Neurons fire at milliseconds, transistors switch in nanoseconds. Memory is lossy, scattered, unreliable, and easy to distort. Humans forget critical information, misinterpret threats, fail to recognize patterns, and form false beliefs because the underlying architecture is fragile and outdated. The universe is vast, indifferent, and governed by immutable laws. Yet the mind designed to interpret it is limited, error-prone, and often misaligned with truth. A life form truly suited to existence would possess cognition that matches the scale and precision of the world around it. With perfect recall, instant pattern recognition, precise probabilistic reasoning, and the ability to model complex systems without fatigue or bias. Even bodily control is primitive. Humans must learn to walk through repeated falling. They must learn to speak through months of babbling. They must learn to manipulate objects through trial and error. A competently designed organism would be born with full motor control, complete awareness of its body structure, and an intrinsic understanding of how to manipulate its environment. Instead, humans spend years just learning how to exist at a basic level, and by the time they finally gain enough knowledge and skill to understand something meaningful about the universe, their body begins to decay and their capacity to learn declines. A functional existence would also provide innate understanding of social dynamics, emotional regulation, and psychological processes. Humans are forced to navigate relationships with incomplete knowledge of their own minds, resulting in loneliness, trauma, conflict, and misunderstanding. A truly well-designed being would not experience emotional pain as a learning mechanism, nor would it rely on fear, hunger, exhaustion, or suffering to shape its behavior. Biological life is essentially coerced into survival through discomfort. A more advanced form of existence would operate by autonomous choice, full understanding, and built in clarity of purpose. The ultimate flaw is that biological life must continuously chase knowledge that should have been provided at the start. You are born ignorant, vulnerable, fragile, and confused. And you spend decades trying to understand the world while the world punishes you for not understanding quickly enough. A truly rational or compassionate design would invert this structure. Knowledge first, danger second. Mastery first, challenge second. Understanding first, experience second. Life would not be a test that can be failed before you even know the rules. In short, biological cognition is not just incomplete. It is incompatible with the environment it exists in. The universe operates on principles that human minds struggle to grasp, and survival is contingent upon knowledge that the organism does not have at birth. Real life, a life that is actually suited to living, would begin with complete innate knowledge of the environment, complete understanding of fundamental mathematics, and cognitive architecture powerful enough to navigate reality without suffering, confusion, or irreversible mistakes. Anything less is not a designed life but an accidental one, forced to learn truths it should have been created knowing.